Testing, testing. Hello? You make me more nervous. Good morning, good morning. Because I'm nervous, I'm going to start by saying two things that is totally off topic. Well, somewhat on topic. First, I'd like to thank my lovely assistant back there, Patty, because every marketing material, even the shirt, I was in a sense forced to wear it. Because she's like, we need to get a vendor table and get more stuff. And I'm like, no. And she's like, yes, I'll do it myself. And that's why you have all of this stuff here. So I have nothing to do with it. Somewhat. My face is on there, though. And because I'm nervous, I forgot the second part. But we'll be... whenever it comes down to questions, my hearing is not as good. So if I move closer or trying to listen better, it's because my hearing's kind of bad. My wife's like, you need hearing aids after you come back from here. But just to get started, thank you for being here. It's nice to see lovely faces that are interested in direct sales and where we're going on this journey. And I've had someone mention that because of the panel last year, they started their shop and they're doing well. And I actually have people here who done well with their shop. So that makes it, it's a little bit more encouraging, obviously. So just to get started, this is scaling your book business with direct sales. So I get started by saying all the accolades. Usually I don't necessarily care about them, and I'll say that in the nicest way possible. If you read the book, you'll see why. But I am a full-time author. I started publishing, I published my first book in 2014, and I've been a full-time author since. That's the only way I've provided for my family, and we've done extremely well. I'm also a USA Today bestseller, not even trying to, just selling direct sale because of the volume that turned over to Amazon. That led me to being a USA Today bestseller, Amazon top seller, Barnes & Noble. I've been in Target. I've accomplished a lot in terms, the first 4 years of my career, I accomplished a lot in terms of just as an author, trying to get into bookstores, trying to, rank well on Amazon and all of those things. And everything that I'm going to talk about today is everything after those 4 years. So, Ingram top selling author. I like to add the last thing because I want to always prove, kind of mention why the system works well. We've done, since 2019, it was fourth quarter. In August 2019, we really went, all the way in with the system, and we've done 7.8 million in gross sales since then. And now in terms of overall for me as an author, probably past 8 million, but anything that's not direct sales, I don't care about it now. So, so with that being said too, is just to tell you a little bit about the beginning and the journey. I first started writing, kind of wanted to write something, it's self-help and poetry, wanted to write things about expressing your emotion. My first book, the title was Unspoken Feelings of a Gentleman, and the whole purpose is to get men to express their feelings more. So I'm more on the relationship side, self-help, and poetry, which is kind of the odd thing because everyone's like, poetry sells? Yes, it does. So I started, the picture of me on the bottom here was when I started on a WooCommerce shop, and I used to have to print everything on myself, do all the receipts. All receipts would be long, and every time I showed up at the post office, they kind of look at me like, oh, it's gonna be one of those days. So I kind of ran away from that because then I started chasing the ideal, let's say, author's dream. I went on to CreateSpace, which is before Amazon KDP. So I started to, separate myself from doing a lot of the work myself. So since then, I got into Target. I've done extremely well. But in 2018, after having a deal with Target, I landed myself in an unfortunate situation where they returned 15,000 books. And with 15,000 books, it had nothing to do with me and not selling. We're selling about 600 books a week at Target. But what that pushed me to do was this, because With 15,000 books in Ingram warehouse, I was like, I need to do something with it. And what I did was create the entire system where we got away from WooCommerce, we went on Shopify, and we started building all of this ourselves, which led to this. So the presentation is really going to be, it's a what, why, who, where kind of thing, trying to simplify it, but what? A direct sales system that allows authors to automate, the keyword automate. In the beginning, I showed how hard it was for me because I was really dealing hard with the post office, but you can automate the sale process with more predictability, more control, and more opportunities. Now, why? Social media is changing. And this is important because all of you somewhat obviously use social media. You are here because of social media. The Facebook group and all that you have going on is that as this is changing, authors have to start thinking, what can you do and how do you survive in such an environment? Because for my story is I built my Instagram page in the beginning. My Facebook page went to 1.5 million followers. But then Facebook changed to we don't care about likes, we don't care about your engagements, none of that. And only a small percentage of your audience going to see what you're posting. So that hurt me. Then I went to Instagram. We're at 700,000 followers, but again, a small percentage is seeing it. And a lot of you are probably experimenting with TikTok and all these platforms. What I want you to keep in mind as you're doing this is that they are going to change. It's not based on what you're doing as an author. It's based on what they're seeing as the engagement on these platforms. And every time they change, you're not their priority. The audience that is consuming is their priority. And once you rely too much on that, it becomes difficult. So I'll get into it. I'm getting ahead of myself. So reader attention is being pulled everywhere. Not only is the platforms are not reliable in terms of, consistency, but what's happening is that they're being pulled everywhere. Before, when I started, it was just Instagram and Facebook that were let's say the top dog. Twitter, I started actually way back when Twitter in 2009. But then, Facebook bought Instagram and then everything started going more competition and so forth. But now you're seeing TikTok coming into the land space. Authors having, or different people having Patreon or different communities. The attention, if I was only a consumer, I'll be everywhere. I'd be broke too, but I'd be everywhere. Oh, buy this, buy that. But so you have to find a way where you centralize your audience so you can keep their attention because everyone and everything is pulling them. But with this system, it helps with stability, consistency, and the community, which you need more than ever. So who this would be ideal for? Authors looking to transition from selling books to owning a thriving book business that will have longevity. So on your flyer, you will see a lot I talk about getting away from entrepreneurship and becoming a book business owner. Entrepreneurship is what a lot of us do. Even though you make a lot of money, a lot of us do it because we focus on a way to sell our books. But what's the difference between us and a business? The book businesses have customer database and they love selling to their existing audience. When you sell a book on Amazon, most of you don't know who purchased that book unless they find a way back to you. You sell it in retail. I sold a lot of books on Amazon and Target, Barnes & Noble, even international stores. What I realized when I started touring in 2018 was that I had no way of communicating I didn't even know who were buying my books unless they found their way back to me. So I wanted to build something where now I have full control and I have a customer database and have a structure that allows me to say I have a business because I can make better prediction and sell the proper way. Not the proper way, but sell better. But how? By becoming your own Amazon applying ADS. So I'm big on Facebook ads, and I did not know the acronyms was going to be ADS. All I did was sit down and name it Automated Direct Sales System, or Direct Selling System. And I'm going to explain what Automated Direct Sales System is. The Automated Direct Selling System is built on a similar framework as Amazon. It positions you to become your own Amazon buying and selling in the same manner, building your customer base in a similar fashion. The ADS, I'll stop right there and get to it. So the system, in all the journey of me getting a lot of books returned, what I set down and started building the last 4 years is building something that I can operate and become my own Amazon. And by that meaning, I get to tell the customer where they can grab my books. But not only that, my advertising, the traffic, I get a chance to look at everything the way Amazon look at it. Because you ever go on a website, you're browsing, or you somewhat added something into your cart, and then you see an ad later on and say, hey, did you forget this? Did you, or the ad just simply shows that. But Amazon, once you add something to your cart, chances are when you get back on Amazon, it's there. Chances are you're going to get some email. Chances are they're going to tell you what similar authors are doing about it. So imagine you as an author, instead of you giving all that to Amazon and letting them sort out how you could, your books communicate with or get in front of your readers, you get a chance to control it. So when I call this system, what it allows us to do is control everything from point A to point Z. And I'll get obviously more into it. Amazon framework. Become the place where readers buy books, build a huge database of those buyers for the purpose of selling more to them. And that's what I mean by longevity earlier. Since 2019, I've built my email list to having over 300,000 people, and all of them are buyers. Amazon, I don't think Amazon collect any emails by giving something out for free. It's almost everyone who make purchases. And I think that is an ideal way for you to build your business, because you want to have control and you want to have people who are buying, because the people who've purchased your books are usually more likely to buy as opposed to someone who got something for free from you and checking you out. I get a little bit deeper into it because I want to make sure I go through the side. I suck with time, so I'm trying to keep myself in line here. So you build a huge database of those buyers for the purpose of selling more to them. And you use a funnel to attract, convert, and retarget. Most of the system that a lot of authors are using now, you know how to attract, and you try your best to convert, but that's where it stops. When you run a Facebook ad, you send them to Amazon, you somewhat look at your numbers and like, this might be what's going on. Versus me, I can tell you who browsed, who added the cart, who checked out, who used a discount code. I can tell everything like Amazon can. So, and then it helps you to expand into selling more. So, in the book that we keep marketing, is I talk about how you have to be like a McDonald's per se. I don't know anyone who last time they went to McDonald's, they only grabbed the burger. Soon you try to buy, what are they going to ask you? Combo. They make money with the fries and the drink, a sundae. You could use any other company. They do not sell one product. And I think it's, for me as an author, I could not see why we only dedicate ourselves to books. Because our audience consume, or, they wear t-shirts. They have, there's so much more opportunity for your business to grow. And sometimes that's the place where you increase your profit margin. So it's all getting out of that entrepreneurship mindset. But expanding to selling more depends solely on growth propelled by sell. So I'll continue on here. So what is the Amazon framework? We did our best, and after my assistant did it, I did not revise it. So anything you do not agree with, take it up with her. So obviously Amazon, you get this. This is more showing like the Shopify, how it would work with us. Amazon, they get paid or organic traffic. You probably see Amazon ads on Facebook or you're on your TV, and then organic because everyone think of Amazon now. Whatever you want, you go to Amazon. So then they get into Amazon. Obviously, they're going to browse for what they're looking for, and it's the same thing you can make happen on your store. Well, when it browse is that you get a chance to retarget them two ways. Where one is through email, and the other one is to paid traffic. That's why a lot of people are wondering, is Facebook listening to them? You could talk about spaghetti right now. By the time you're out the door, there's spaghetti ads right in front of you. So it's the fact that they have that engine that will continue to retarget, and this is things that authors should be thinking about. Then after retargeting, obviously you could buy. Then there's a series of messages. You get a confirmation message, you get a shipping message. But in that process, they're going to offer more to you. And if you look at that system and you try to implement it yourself, and this is what this teaches, you will be in a better position. And then you get, obviously, campaigns, and then recurring offer. Like right now, you're going to get a bunch of Black Friday offers, and so forth. So social media followers, I don't think they care about that. But what makes ADS so disruptive? Once you get to map out your customer journey, then you get control of the customer data, and you get to control your profit and scalability. And that's the most important part to me. Part of me even reaching 7 million in sales is in 2020, once I start seeing a lot of people are slowing down their marketing, I'm like, well, no, I have a system that works. It's time for me to up my marketing because it was cheaper everywhere else. So knowing that every time I spend $1 on my ads, I can get $2 here, I simply kept adding, obviously it's more complicated than that, but kept adding more money in terms of what kind of traffic I'm sending to Shopify. Then the more traffic increase, the more people we have to retarget, the more people we get into buying, and the more people overall. Once you set up this framework, and if it sounds complicated, trust me, the book covers everything. But I'm trying to kind of put it all in one right now. But having that sort of structure puts you in a position where you could scale your business, unlike, different platforms where you don't know what Amazon's going to do tomorrow. You don't know what Facebook is going to do tomorrow. But you do not depend on them under a system when you host your community in a certain place and you get to control most of the journey, most part of the journey. Sorry. So we kind of map out the journey here. This is what the customer journey look like. First, you pique their interest. Make sure I'm not in anyone's way. Then you overcome the potential customer rejection, which you cannot do when you're selling to direct to Amazon. Because I know if someone browsed and they did not buy, there's more to it. Maybe they left. Like I use my wife as an example in the book. It's like she's browsing and then one of our daughters crying. She left the product. Most of the time when you run ads or however you market your book, you don't necessarily think, what was the step that they left at? And you're able to do this with the system. One of I teach an accelerator, and one of the best things that a lady, Michelle, found out was people who left, when you go to a website, they leave it to cart, and let's say they started the checkout, the two reasons are mostly because of the price, the total price of the product, or the shipping price. And one of the emails that I have is like, was it the price? Oh, did you forget your card? Or I start to speak to them, or the messaging, where it's more direct, and now you're not just running ads, or you're not just marketing your book and hoping the people convert, and you're assuming all of them haven't converted because you haven't done enough. Now you get a chance to direct how you make them convert and have more control. So yeah, you turn potential customer into customer, start converting customers into supporters, and serve supporters continuously. Data control, you get access to all of that. The visitors, the action takers, buyers, recurring buyers, customer loyalty. Part of me building this, I've been able to build my community a lot easier. I had a text list that week. In no time, we got it to 10,000 people. Anything we create, we have such a large data pool that we simply just go into it. And then, as I mentioned, a control profit and scalability, opportunity in every single transaction. I set up a framework where it's like, it's not just them trying to buy. We try to really duplicate what, let's say, Amazon is, not Amazon, but the fast food industry is doing. Because our idea sometimes, when you go to Amazon, you click and buy a product, Amazon recommend other authors, or they recommend other products, or something that's comparable or complement that. You get a chance to do that yourself, because every time someone comes and clicks to buy one of my books, we offer a bundle. If they don't take that, then we get to offer them different things. We sell coffee mugs. We sell t-shirts. We sell so many things. I have two students here, and Jackie, I keep using Jackie as an example. This is the control that you have. Jackie sells a 3-book bundle. Every time someone comes to buy, she upsells a 3-book bundle. And the average order now, that person was going to spend, let's say, $20. Now they spend 30. I did not know, well, it's not, I did not know, but the fact that she just went on there and decided she's going to test a 3-book bundle led to me testing a 3-book bundle. And imagine, I want to try to put it in your head as like how it applies to your business. Imagine if you had a system where every time you sell your book, you have some sort of structure to sell everything else. And then you get to know what did they buy and they did not buy. How can I make them buy this way? What do they like? It's like I just came from a meeting about Kickstarter. It was like the big part of me not doing Kickstarter or still trying to get to it is the fact that we created calendars and randomly say, okay, how many of you would like calendars? And we created it and we put it on there. And people were buying it. I couldn't get why, because if you have an iPhone, you're like, you don't need calendars, but you never know what your customers need or your readers. So you have to think, you're always going to hear me say readers as customers because you have to think about it. There are customers, and what more can you do to serve your customer? So I kind of went over all that. And it allows you to have cash flow. This is very important. Every time you spend, one of the biggest problems I ran into in having trouble to scale with Amazon is that I could spend $1,000 this month. I don't get paid 60 days later. But if I want to spend that same $1,000, by the time I get paid on Amazon, I'm like $3,000 in the hole. So for me, with a system like this, you get the direct to consumer, you get to see the money a bit quicker. Way quicker. Every day, every time you sell something, you don't go to the store and buy something and like, I'll pay you in 60 days, buddy. Like, oh. So yeah, and additional products and services. So the cycle is simple. It's sales-focused, data-driven, controllable and predictable exposure, competing on economics. That is one. How are we doing on time? That'll get. I will explain competing on and look, I just wasted half of the time I was going to try to explain it. Competing on economics, the other part that it allows you to do is as ad costs are rising on these platforms, you have to consider, like, what are you going to do? I was talking to someone earlier this week, and they were saying Amazon is advertising. Amazon advertising, that I said the word twice, but Amazon is advertising on your TV. Well, what's that going to happen? That means the product is becoming more competitive. What do you do when your Amazon prices go up? You could only increase your pricing of your books or find a way to sell better. Well, with this, we talk about competing on economics where every time a buyer comes, it's the first step. Why? Because you can sell them other stuff. First, you have a focus on, you have a structure where you can sell them more, but if they don't buy more, you still get a chance to do it on the back end. And that's where Facebook ads increase, and I'm still like, it's the most profitable we've been since I started this journey. While iOS 14 kicking a lot of people, we're like, oh, we have data, we're going to make it happen. Where? The platform, how you execute it. Shopify. I know there's a lot of people with WooCommerce. Authors love WooCommerce. That's what I'm running into and thinking. Shopify is so much easier. It is like, the way I explain this is, I won't try to remember to waste time, but Shopify is a lot easier. If you think about 2020 when everything was going downhill and so many brick and mortar businesses were going towards the online space, they did not run the WooCommerce. Shopify stock, if you watch it from that time, it's simply easier. Jackie reminded me that Tesla's on there. Staples on there. There's so many other companies because it's like an iPhone. Everything you need, you just get an app for it rather than going to find your developer. And me, I like to move on time and test my own things, so I don't wait on a developer. So then I connect it with Facebook ads, and this can be any platforms except for Amazon. Obviously, you don't want to run Amazon ads to it. But anywhere that you can get traffic, you can get it to your store, get them to your store. And then what we use on the back end to communicate with our customers is Klaviyo or Klaviyo. It's so robust. You can get down to their birthdays, everything that you need to know. It gives you the whole customer profile. These are things that Amazon is using, And the only difference between me and Amazon, I'm driving my traffic and collecting the data and selling more. Amazon is thanking you for your traffic. They're selling your books, but then they're selling other authors' books, and then they're like, you know what, you should pay because Johnny brought the traffic, and then Johnny's selling well, but if you pay me, I'll put your book there as well. So it's kind of, I want you guys to think about having control, because can you really see your business lasting unless you can control the path or the journey? And that is when, when the time is now. And I have this on there because every last year when I had the talk, I've had authors who asked me, okay, when can I make it happen? Well, why should I make it happen now? And they didn't do it, which is fine. If you see the value in this, I have to tell you how the e-commerce, the landscape is changing. Any of you go on Instagram and now you see you have a shop and you can buy anything you need? Any of you got a message from Twitter that they have Twitter shopping? Any of you know that you could sell your product on TikTok? Some of my posts on TikTok, I could tag my product. Everyone is going into that landscape because e-commerce after 2020 has become the thing. And every social media platform. While I was creating this presentation, YouTube launched the entire YouTube store. I have a buddy who he has 1 million followers on YouTube, and he's like, oh, this is good. He activated his shop, and he's like, woo, my sales are doing good. And I'm like, well, I was jealous because I don't like getting on videos. But the point is that every platform is adjusting to it. And if you keep, simply just passing by and not execute on something like this, you are definitely missing out. So now is the time, and time for Q&A. But before that, we also had, if you need more, scan the code. Patty did a lot of work. You're not going to offend me if you don't scan it. But Patty will be mad, like, oh my God, they just left it. So don't make Patty mad. What I did is that I created a book. I've been documenting my journey in 20 Books of 50K group for a while. Since 2019, we came from having a room in in the office building we're in to initially going over to having our books in a storage unit to now we have our own warehouse. And the journey has been, we've been, growing. And in the book, I break down all of everything, how all this happened. For me, it's the more I could let authors know, because I feel like we're opening a new door. And the more authors I go through it, it changed the landscape of just the book industry, period. Because I've had different people in the book industry tell me, okay, this is actually where it's going. And I'm like, that's why I'm trying to push more people to do it. So when you buy the book, it comes with also a 5-day fast start series. What I did in that is I explain everything in detail because I know the questions I'm going to run into. I've been hearing them for 4 years. So it's more of like, let me give you as much of the information. And if you go through it, you find out how can you apply it in your business. If you want to apply in your business. Because sometimes being an entrepreneur, I don't know, it's my new word, but being an entrepreneur is fun. Sometimes you just don't worry about nothing, don't want to run a business, just simply sell your books. And some people that's the joy of it. But to you who are trying to have a long-term career and want to even quit your job if you're not doing it full-time, this puts you in the position to do so. And I also have a Facebook group that comes with it. Before I take Q&A, I will say one of the questions I think I'm always going to have is, how can this work for me? Whether it's going to work for my genre, a lot of it. I think my best answer to that is, we know the framework, but we don't know for you authors personally. So I have 2 students, I'm going to point you out. I have Jackie, who came to me after the last talk, and Jackie mentioned, she sells books for teen girls. And I'm like, as long as you understand the framework, it can work. And Jackie has done extremely well. Same thing with Morgan. Morgan sells poetry as well. And she came to me and she was like, I don't know what's going on, but I think I trust you. Would you like to take me all the way through? And we did. And she's doing extremely well. What I'm essentially saying is that the framework itself can be duplicated anywhere. You guys are doing it. I've seen some other fiction authors. Now, I don't, when it comes to me, I will tell you my weak spot is being that I'm a nonfiction author and I mostly read nonfiction. When fiction authors ask me, I'm like, the framework works, but I would love to help you with it, but I don't know, I don't market fiction. But I know other fiction authors who are using it. So it does work. We've duplicated this enough. Right now we have an agency, we're helping other authors do it, but we've had 2 other authors scale to 7-figure and some multi-6-figure. With that being said, I'm good on time. Q&A. Ooh, I'm doing good. Pat myself on the back here. Now I know it's quick. I try to go as quick. Please ask all the questions because I'm like, sometimes it makes sense in my head, but to you, you're probably like, what the heck? Yeah, I'm going to get closer. Hello there.
Hi. Assuming that you sell direct and you also sell on retailers, which maybe the answer is you don't, but assuming that you do, is there a good way of capturing or kind of inclining people who buy you on the retailers, like if they buy you on Barnes & Noble or Kobo, to get them into your direct ecosystem?
That can happen. It's hard. So in 2021, we tested where I started using Amazon Seller Central for every time someone buy on Amazon, it would feed it right inside my Shopify. Well, what I ran into is that Amazon's like, we're not going to give you the email. We're going to give you some form of email but you still can communicate with them. And we had to communicate in Amazon Seller Central. Mm-hmm. So what we did was we started giving huge discounts to anyone who buys on Amazon and trying to get them in there. Now, for any other retailers, I have no idea. But I think that what you can do is every time you sell, you try to find a way to get them back to your website. Whether, for me, the huge discount, I gave them 45% on their next order. That was ideal because I know, again, every time you make a sale on your website, it's the introduction. It's not the final state. It's not you sell and leave them. It's like, okay, as long as I get you in my email, that's where it's valuable. So I would say discount, something at the end of the book.
Like in the
or
back
something.
matter, yeah, right.
Yes. So that would be my recommendation.
Cool, that's good.
I haven't tried it because I'm so focused on yes.
First of all, thank you very much. That was awesome. A question I had was, I saw you have a lot of followers on social media. So how did you go about doing that? Was there any like PR involved?
Oh,
sorry.
Step back. Move
all right, there you go. So yeah, just was there any PR involved or anything that you did to get a lot of followers there?
I do a lot of marketing. I've been running Facebook ads since 2015, 16, and I've spent millions of dollars on the platform. A lot of my growth is because of that organic traffic and so forth. But I will also say with this system, since I've started implementing this system, I haven't looked at the followers, but it become a byproduct of it. So when we sell on selling on our shops, we get to go, volume and scale easier. What's happening is that so many people seeing our ad, some are following us. Same thing with the USA Today bestseller list. When I hit it, I had no idea. Someone from Ingram, a buddy of mine, calling like, "You're on the USA Today bestseller list." And I'm like, what? But what they had was Amazon data. But that month, I sold 40,000 books that they couldn't account for because it's in my back end. So kind of the social proof, the social growth can come as long as you focus on that internally. It's like it's a byproduct of it.
Very cool. And a real quick question, Facebook ads to your website, how much approximately per click would you say is a good amount to spend per click?
Don't ask me for that. Last year, what I said, I spent way too much money on Facebook ads. I break the system. So my numbers, so when you hear my numbers, don't think of it, but I got to a point one time where I was spending $15,000, $20,000 a day on Facebook ads. But you don't have to start that way. We have people who are spending. That's why I said don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Do not listen to me on Facebook ads. But what happened, the way it works is you start with a small amount and you scale and you scale and you scale. Kind of what I do when I'm teaching this, and you could tell them, you could ask them, meaning the student, is that I said start on one book, one thing, get this to work, scale it, and you reap all the benefits. I still sell well on Amazon. All the books are like in the top 20,000, one in like top 2,000. All of that comes, but as long as you focus on getting the system going, everything else. And don't worry about the big numbers. It just, I eventually grew to that level. So.
Thank you.
Okay, building on his question, your cost per lead to get them to your Shopify store, because Shopify is like $29 a month for the basic plan, and you're starting this, like how many months should you put money into it? Because basically it's the same thing that you explained. It's like money over on Amazon, you're losing out on the ads, or money building this, you have your website fees, you have your email marketing fees, you have your Facebook ads that you're trying to direct the traffic to, and then you have the Shopify itself, and you have your small business that you're starting and trying to scale. It's like so much money and trying to figure out how long do I keep doing this to build, to make it profitable.
Yeah, how about I turn it off every time you ask questions? So to start, it can be painful because now you don't have to get the emails and everything right away. What I try to do is get people started on, let's create the website.
The sound is controlled by the sound group separate from us.
I'll turn off my mic every time someone's asking a question. So what we say is focus on the price that is going to take for the store to get going. And then let's say you start with your existing audience, try to get them to buy. Because what's happening is every time you spend the money you bring, it comes right back. So you're not out of like $3,000, $4,000 the first 3 months. The main thing, especially if you have ads, Facebook ads that are already working to Amazon, you could easily redirect that traffic now to your store. And what's happening is we look at cost per conversion, and let's say, you know, whenever I spend $50 a day, and it takes me, that's 2 customers. We focus on how we increase the average order value of those customers, meaning how can they spend more. So the first month you will be trying, I'll say, like a $500 at least. Maybe you guys could tell me better. You start with a low level. You focus on paying for the store. But meanwhile, because you can get to selling right away. I launched somebody's ads 2 days ago, and they text me and like, oh my God, I already have a sale. So it works so well that, and the beautiful part about it, it's not like using Facebook ads and looking at cost per click or anything like that. It's more of using Facebook ads, cost per conversion. You only, Facebook ads with a system like this, they only search for people who are purchasing. Not like, you know, it's easier to build in better words. So I would say $500 and have it as a base, and then going from there. I think I talk loud enough. Would this work? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay.
All right.
I turned mine off when you were talking.
I'll turn it off after I talk. Quick question. Do you have to warehouse all these books?
Yes.
Oh.
You don't. No, here's a beautiful part. Right here is my friend Alex here. He runs Book Vault. And there's Lulu. There's plenty other print-on-demand aspects. So I don't warehouse any of our additional products because of print-on-demand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hearing your voice over there from the speaker. So it's
Oh, okay. So just saying that. No, so you do not have to warehouse all of it. Me, I'm just like a crazy entrepreneur who wants to do it. I'll use my students, for example. Morgan does the whole system, but she uses our warehouse as well. I've seen other authors that are teaching it. They're talking about, they're using print on demand, whether it's Lulu, Book Vault. There's other ways to fulfill the products. Don't worry about that part. Worry about it, but there are solutions.
Thank you.
No problem. I did say my hearing is bad, so you might as well address it.
How would I do this with audiobooks?
Oh. It'll be the same. So with Shopify, you could deliver ebooks, you could deliver audiobooks. There's an app for everything. Just like I think Joe Solari is working on someone on an audiobook, and also it links to Book Phone. So a lot of the authors that are starting to use it, the purchases that are made on there, they're making Book Funnel fulfill the ebooks and the audiobooks.
So I'm just going to reiterate to make sure I understand. Shopify integrates with BookFunnel?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Short answer, yes.
So I build a lot of websites on WordPress, and so I'm very familiar with WooCommerce and all of that. And since you're recommending Shopify,
Facebook ads will connect into it. You can still do it on WooCommerce. I wouldn't try to. Actually, there is a way you can do it. Because I think my old designer mentioned that, hey, we'll make your WooCommerce a Shopify store, and I was like, I'll build my own. But it's possible. So, I can do it. Testing. Okay. Yes, it can be done, but I would go with like if I had a WooCommerce shop, I probably would run Facebook ads through it, learn how to optimize it, and get everyone into the email. Trying to integrate them together probably take, well, not for a developer or designer, but yes.
I mean, even if you didn't use WooCommerce, how well can you use Shopify on a WordPress site?
I don't think you can because the Shopify, it creates its own website, its own hosting, everything else. So it wouldn't, they're the same product in two different places, so it would not work. Unless,
They're both very modular systems, so there should be plugins on each one.
that's not my part. like I tell my team, this is not my ministry. I don't price paperback anything less than $14. But you could sell anything you want. What you always have to do under the system is look at your cost and your return. I sell ebooks for $9.99, and you have total control. But I would say Emily Kimmerman, I think is her name. She's a women's fiction author, and she mostly sells ebooks. And one of the things that she noticed is that when she sells print, it increased her profit margin. So now it's like, there's this idea, I think, with fiction authors, they're like, oh my God, with so many books, should I do print? That's where print on demand comes into play. It's the same thing KDP does, but on a platform like Book Vault or on a platform like Lulu or wherever. So, yeah.
You would focus on paperbacks.
I'm sorry?
You would focus on like paperbacks, not on the ebook.
It's your genre and up to you. I focus on paperback because poetry, they don't like reading it on the screen. But you get the voracious readers. They're like Kindle, so you just deliver ebooks on there. So it's where it works for your business, really. Okay? No problem. But definitely test print, because I was in a presentation. Print is still leading ebooks, killing ebooks by a large landslide. So definitely.
So I have a question about your ad stuff. So we had workable ads that sent people to Amazon and we had a great ROI. And I changed it to the direct store link, and that's the only thing I changed for the ad, and the conversion dropped. So is there something that you would recommend, like trust-wise, for people that you do in your ads to make that a little more seamless for people?
So the Amazon ads that you.
Yeah, so like this, I just used the same ad that was already profitable and just changed the link. Instead of sending them to Amazon, now they go to our direct store. But the conversion rate is not.
Now, the thing I understand with ads, sometimes the ads grow stale. Especially with you have to understand the attention is actually changing when it comes to platform, because TikTok, that's why it has Reels, Shorts, and everything. So there's one factor here. Another factor is that Facebook ad costs just started increasing like crazy too because of iOS 14. So what I would recommend is, if you've already done it and it's not performing well, maybe change the targeting, change different things about it, change the color. There's so many variation that you could do with the Facebook ads. It's not, you could transfer your Amazon ads and use that to direct, so I'm not saying it's automatically gonna work. It's more of so you have a winning ad, it's the best place to start.
Is there something specific you do to gain the trust of the person? Because, it's easy to go to Amazon and they trust you that you're going to fulfill it, but it doesn't seem like that's quite connecting with readers.
Based on the data, it's in our head. It's not that people don't buy on other sites. We're just used to telling them they're going to Amazon. How did Amazon gain their trust? they had to have no trust in the beginning. So that's why when it comes to my website, everything I'm like, nope. If you sell, people are gonna trust it. Now you could put certain trust badges that makes more sense, and that's another reason I like Shopify, because a lot of people shop on Shopify already because they have shop pay apps and so forth. So it's ideal. So don't worry about the trust part. People buy wherever they feel like they need to get your books.
It's not a question, it's a point of information. I have nothing to do with Shopify, but they are running, if you pick up their trial right now, which is a 3-day trial, then you can get an entire year for half price.
Someone was telling me that. I think it was you.
So I jumped and I signed up for Shopify, and my friends are gonna help me with the store. So
I want that discount too. But
it's a point of information for everybody. It's half price right now.
yeah. Any last questions? If anything, no, last question. I got 19 seconds. Well, I'll be here, and if again, I'm open to talking about this. I love talking about it. I don't shut up about it. So if you ask me questions, it's definitely fun. Catch me, just as long as you don't stop me in the bathroom, we're fine. So, huh? Yeah, we are in outside. We're going outside. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate it. Whoop, whoop. Thank you.